Hi, I'm Pam,
I'm Barry.
and this is the Mixed Review, where we do movie commentaries and mix in social issues. Our next movie was Fantastic Four.
This is a whole new remake of the original Fantastic Four, and same characters. However, this set of characters is a little bit younger. And let's see. Let's just take it from there because I know somebody's just dying to say something.
What the heck was that?
Keep going.
I don't have any idea what I just watched. I felt like I was being a, a practical joke, maybe,
Why?
but it was it was almost nonsensical. It had an idea from the source material created by Stan Lee, and I know they were trying to rescue the previous version of Fantastic Four. It was a complete utter bomb. But this no, this is not it. You have to say stuff now because
Okay,
I
so
can't form thoughts.
I watch the cartoons, and I can tell you I'm a little dismayed at what they tried to
Best
pull.
word ever.
And you you read the comic books.
I did, and I grew up on it, and I don't know what I don't know what happened.
How far off from the comic books was this movie?
It had some elements that were true to the original source material as in the comic books. True. But it took it way too seriously. It took it to a place where you didn't know what was going on, and by the end, you were wondering where they got this from.
Okay.
How they got their powers was not another dimension, another planet. I don't know why they changed simple things like that. It didn't make any sense to me. Oh my goodness, I don't know what to say. It was not good.
Okay.
I can't put it into, I don't have words
Okay.
to say. We
So.
just saw it. So I'm still kind of in shock of what we just experienced.
I
I,
agree. I
you
totally
have
agree.
to have more to say than this because I've got nothing.
Okay. So, um, they tried to reinstill the old concept and didn't do a very good job at it. So let's start with the
The
production.
okay,
Let's
the
start
production
with
or
the production.
plot.
Either or.
What the heck? Plot was convoluted.
Not there.
It was so not, it was so weird. There was no backstory. They had him as a child, as you saw in the trailers if you watched the trailers. And then even with showing him as a child, there was no backstory. You
Okay.
didn't, I don't say.
Okay,
There was,
so let's talk about the original backstory. They started off with the professor and the guy that plays the Thing working together at the school, and I have to say there was a lot of good messages there in terms of how education plays roles in kids' futures. And the message
okay.
here, this is the social part, this is the social issue part. The message here is teachers, administrators should not be destroying kids' dreams. And I have to agree with that.
Wonder
That
why.
stood right out to me, and I applaud them for trying to say this. Um, however, I thought the people that played the kids' parts did really well. But when they got to, for example, the high school science fair, we had 30-year-old teenagers, and they looked 30 years old. And Jeremy Bell does not look like a teenager anymore. He obviously took this to pay or put food on the table, or so it seems. Um,
I can't.
since we're there,
I don't know.
as far as the adults, hang on, as far as the adults, in terms of the plot, um,
They played the role as kids. It was
basically, yeah.
it there was no maturity. I get it. They're supposed to be these really smart quote kids, got that. They played it as teenagers. It it wasn't cohesive. They were supposed to be these geniuses, these geniuses, these smart kids, and they were kids. And they're grown-ups. There should be some maturity with this knowledge. I wanted so much to like this film for two reasons. I love the source material. I'm a fan of Fantastic Four and how it ties into the Avengers, and I'm just really excited for what they're going to do in the future. But this is not a good start at all. It was bad.
Okay.
Bad, bad, bad.
That we got. We've already talked about that, and I'll talk about the acting. Let's start with
What acting?
the five main characters.
My issue with this movie, why I thought I wouldn't like it, is because of the Human Torch being cast as black. It was annoying. It was
Why?
very frustrating because there was no need to change the character. He was originally white. Susan and him were brother and sister. I had no problem with that. It was a stupid, politically correct play that totally drew me from the storyline.
Distracting you.
Yes, distracting me, drew from the storyline, took me out of it. It took me out of it. And every time they kept saying sister, brother, adopted, there were moans and groans in the audience along with my yawning and rolling my eyes because it made no sense. It was unnecessary. And I felt like they made this movie just to be politically correct with the Human Torch. That's what it kind of centered around, and I hated it.
Well,
I'm getting angry. Oh my goodness.
yeah, well,
I don't mean to.
they couldn't get Chris Evans to take the place because he's already Captain America.
We need to talk about the
The
first
original
one.
four.
The original four. I wasn't a fan of that movie. I thought they took a great story and made it a slapstick comedy. Then
Yes,
they
they did.
took. Okay. Then this is the opposite in the worst way possible.
Too serious.
Too serious.
Way too deep. However, I
Not
will.
even deep. Deep what? No, not deep. No,
Just
not
dark. Dark.
deep. Not stupid.
No?
Stupid. No, just
Okay,
not.
so it's just. All right. So anyway,
We're
however,
gonna
I,
redo this.
I will give them credit for Doom. Doom in this one seemed a lot better than Doom in the first one.
Bull crap. I don't agree at all. Nope. He was an unknown essentially.
Yes.
I remember him
Well, they
from
all were.
No, they weren't.
Yeah,
That
they were.
no, the lead guy was from that movie Whiplash was Barry Oscar with J.K. Simmons. He was the drummer. You and Katie Moore, she's in a lot of you don't watch horror movies. She was in American Horror Story. That's how she got famous.
Oh.
So you don't know them, but I didn't exactly. I didn't know who Doom was, and I did not care. His character was a spoiled brat. That's what I got. A rich, spoiled, think he's an elitist. It had a very elitist villain, and it was annoying. I just could see him at an Occupy Wall Street crowd, um, wearing hip pants, liberal, weed smoking Democrat. That's exactly what I got from that character. Not anything deep, not
Now
any,
you're really shooting.
not anything that would. Okay, yes, that made a good villain. I think. Anyway, but it was not Doom. It was. I just hate the earth because I'm a brat. Not no substance, no backstory, no real reason why. I'm just because I was on this foreign planet for a year. I hate Earth and I'm going to destroy it. Barry, help me out here. This is ridiculous. You have
No,
to say
you're,
more.
you're hitting it all. I mean, you're hitting it all because
This is unbelievable.
we,
I feel
we
like
went from them going into this machine to get their powers, and then a year later,
they
they're
didn't go to
already
get powers.
experiencing.
They just went to go explore. And of course they go too far and of course things go bad. That's the story. We know this story.
Right.
I wanted to like the story. I thought when they were going to redo this film, they were going to take it and they were going to be like, "Oh, that's the comic book I grew up with." No, that did not happen. This became
They didn't do that in the first one either.
It was a redo. I was hoping the redo would be better than the original.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
That's
just
what
saying they
talking
didn't do a very good job in the first one either.
Did I say they did? No, I didn't say they did. I'm just saying that I don't know what to say. It's so horrible. Okay,
It's
so
bad. Yes, it's bad.
I was sitting there at the end. My mouth was agape, literally like, what
I can
did
vouch for that.
Yes. What
we
did
were
I just watch?
we were both yawning.
Yes.
This
It
whole
was
thing was it
boring.
dragged and dragged out even
Oh my
further.
goodness.
And then the last 20 minutes is when everything started happening,
And it happened so fast.
and
It was over.
they fixed the world.
Yes.
Well,
And there was no
wait,
they
what?
weren't heroes. They weren't
No, they weren't.
they weren't. That was the part of
No,
the
they weren't.
Fantastic Four that we liked. They became heroes. And what makes really scary, they're gonna do another one. Oh my goodness. To bring in what we know from the comic book.
Okay.
The why?
Yeah, exactly.
Start over.
This is a bomb.
Start over. You can do better than this. Stan Lee wasn't in this movie for a reason because he's like, I can't, no. Because it had
No
Fantastic
substance.
Four, absolutely none. And they tried so hard to make it like they're really deep thinkers and they're really something you need to understand. If you don't get this, you're not deep enough. That's the vibe. I, oh my goodness, please say more because I'm done. I can't even talk. I am so done.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being the worst and 5 being the best.
Negative 492.
Ooh, why
So
492? Why are you
I just
thinking
like
492?
I like an even numbers. I just
Are you trying to shoot Kelvin? Is that what you're trying to do?
math guy.
No, I don't
Yeah. Well,
know. I don't know what
okay, how
Kelvin
would
is.
you rank it? Tell me.
On a scale of 1 to 5, I would give it a 1 or 0.
Yeah, if
Maybe a
I'm
1.
being real numbers, I would give it a -1.
I'd give it about a 1. It's not worth your
Mm,
10 bucks.
what?
It's just not worth it. They,
You have to say more. I'm
they,
done.
well, they played this to be political correctness, and I'm
This is
sorry,
what you get.
it's a token black guy taking the place of Storm, or no, it's not
Johnny.
Storm, Johnny Storm, yeah. And let's face it, he could put this on his resume. He
Yes.
could use this for just to say, hey, well, I was in the movies,
Yeah.
I'm on the big screen.
And he's gonna be in a lot of more movies.
It was,
Yikes.
I'm sorry, for these parts, they sold out.
Yes.
They sold out to
He
put themselves
clenched
on the
his-
big screen.
If he clenched his cheeks one more time, I was gonna punch him in the jaw. That does not mean you're masculine. He kept clenching his jaw like I'm really mad. I'm gonna.
Okay.
Oh, it hurt me. Sorry, you have to talk more. I'm just gonna keep going. I'm just gonna keep
Hey,
ranting.
keep going.
No,
This
no,
is
no.
entertainment.
No, you have to talk now because I'm just gonna keep ranting on how horrible it is.
Okay.
So he's
Well,
gonna talk
we've
now.
already talked about it. I mean, we've
I'm
talked about the
done.
plot, we've
It's
talked about
horrible.
the actors,
Yes.
we've talked about how we felt about the
And
movie.
how much we do not recommend it. I don't, if you like this movie, you are not a fan of the True series. You are probably PC, politically correct, and you annoy me. So I don't.
And I gotta say, Stan,
What the
what were you
heck?
thinking?
He had to be asleep. I know he's getting old, but dear good, this has his name on it.
all
And
over it. And Stan, you should have had a part in this. You should have had I don't mean an acting part. I
just
mean, you
put
should
the
have,
comic book in front of them and say,
you,
hey, this is the
Stanley,
material.
you should have had a written part in this or a production part in this somehow or another to redirect this whole thing. It was bad.
I don't know what to say.
You've done so much good work, and this is what?
Wow. Okay, we're running out of time.
We're definitely running out of time. Okay.
Well, I'm Pam,
I'm Barry.
and this is the Mixed Review. Please stop by next time. We're gonna see a better movie. I promise.
We hope. Tune in for the next mixed review.
Bye.
See you.